An elite squad of nano-enhanced soldiers join forces with the faction to put an end to 15 years of unnecessary bloodshed under the brutal dictator Sopot. Red Faction 2.
Hello there, SteelSnake72 for my Red Faction 2 medium difficulty playthrough. This is level 3 where we are the gunner in this jet as we're hunting down for Sopot. At least we start hunting for Sopot. I don't understand this level because we start by checking these buildings but we seem to give up pretty quick. It's a really odd one, and I just remember as a kid I used to just literally mow down all the civilians, which I didn't do this time because as funny as it is, it does actually affect the ending you get. Not that really matters because the endings in these games, they're all the same. I really don't understand why they did it, because this game does the generic thing of not the best writing or anything, but it's easy to see why Metal Gear Solid 1 impressed me so much playing it around the same time as this kind of game, because that game's not quite the same, is it? With its long cutscenes, proper voice acting and a proper story. Whereas this, well, I can't even think of... I haven't got anything nice to say when it comes to that kind of stuff, so I'll just not say anything. So as we say, we're just mowing down enemies. It's another short level, it's a really simple one, as you just get bossed back by Jason Statham of all people. Which is, yeah, it's just weird. You get Jason Statham and Lance Henriksen as two main voice actors in this game. I don't really understand why. So I guess if you thought that putting modern day celebrities into games is a recent thing with like Kiefer Sutherland as Snake, no, it's I guess it's not. This game did it back then. As I say, you're just mowing down enemies. It's a really simple level. It's not long at all, and it's a precursor to what is the worst level in the game, which is level 4 by a long way. I absolutely hate it. It's your typical sewer level, and I mean, I think it probably started my whole hatred of that, but I'll wait till we get to that level before I start discussing that, because yeah, I don't like that part of the game at all. Whenever I replay Red Faction 2, it's the part I hate doing, but as soon as I get past it, it's brilliant, thankfully, because this is a game where the second half is a million times stronger than the first. And I guess I want to talk about the influence behind like sort of like Red Faction, and another one why this game is such a confusion in terms of the series, because Red Faction 1 obviously is set on Mars. The whole draw of the series is Mars, and I'm not too sure I paused there, but it's all about Mars, and it all comes from Total Recall, the film of Arnold Schwarzenegger, not that god-awful remake that came out in 2012 for some odd reason. Yeah, remakes, whatever. I mean, we're at a time where we're remaking Flatliners now. I mean, my phone goes off again. It's happened in the last level. Yeah, Total Recall was the influence behind Red Faction, and this game I don't really know. It doesn't follow anything like that. So I mean, we're not on Mars for starters. I mean, I'd be fascinated to know more about the development of this game, because it's no surprise the first one got a sequel. It was very successful, the first one. You know, it was quite iconic, and so the second one, to set it on Mars with completely unrelated characters and unrelated setting, about some like fascist leader of the Commonwealth, and with some terrorist going around blowing everything up. Very odd one compared to the first game, which was on Mars, defeating similarly sort of like fascists, where you're miners and that. God, I mean, that would strike a chord with people during fascist Britain in the 80s, wouldn't it? But we'll keep the politics out of this, I think. But yeah, Red Faction 2 does its own thing of these. You're also like genetically modified like soldiers, nanomachines, I guess. Nanomachine son, but yeah, odd one. I really don't understand it. And I mean, we really do have your generic Battlefield pilot here. You know, you're just like, what the? We've all been there. Whether it's Battlefield Bad Company, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, even Battlefield 1 in a plane, and you're just like, where are you flying? Because you seem to just go around in circles. Because we've just been here and we're coming back again, but it's just an excuse to blow things up, and yeah, look at them amazing fire effects, I guess. Putting modern day gaming to shame, aren't we, right now? Which is the point, if you guys want to see me play through the first Red Faction, I could play through that again perhaps. That'd be an interesting one. Be a horrible game to edit though, but I'd love to play it again and record it. And the reason I say it's such a pain to edit is because you will have noticed the transition between levels, so we've got one coming up quite soon from what I can see, and I'll talk about it then. Because what happens with this game is you have levels. There are 11 levels in total, and they're broken up with like sub-levels. And when the game loads to a new sub-level, it's a really jerky. It's one thing I absolutely hate. It stops dead, and it has this loading for a good like 5 to 7 seconds. And I've been cutting those out, and it's an odd one. You can really always tell because the colour scheme will change. Sometimes not at all, but sometimes it will change a big ton. We've got a transition coming up in about 5 seconds, I think. So I'll be able to talk about it then. It's a bit longer actually, and you'll see what I mean because, well, the game you'll see because it'll stop and start a bit funny because I've cut out the loading. So if you're wondering why my game loads a lot faster than yours, it's because of the wonderful power of editing. And we'll see if the colour scheme changes. It might not do on this level. So it's coming up just now. So wait for it. Yeah, the colour scheme didn't change too much there, but as you can see, that I have to keep cutting it, and it's finding those points where the game does load can be a bit of a pain, and we get more Battlefield flying here, like knocking over these streetlights. And if you weren't sure if this game was on Mars or not, you're definitely sure now, as you've got to try and help these Red Faction guys, I guess, because that's like the only link to the first game is that the terrorists are named after the miners from the first game. Don't think I've known a sequel which is as flimsy in its connection as this one. Maybe Metal Gear Solid 2 with Raiden. No, Metal Gear Solid 3 actually. Well, that's not a sequel, that's a prequel. Because that's just like completely separate from the rest of the series, and that's probably why that game is so great. Resident Evil 4, that's similar. Because Resident Evil 4 is the only link is you've got Leon Kennedy and a few mentions to Raccoon City. And if you want to know something about me, I might as well say Resident Evil 4 and Metal Gear Solid 3 are my two absolutely favourite games of all time. I love those games, are perfect, and I can do Resident Evil 4 at some point. Actually, I could do a playthrough of that, and I'd very much enjoy doing that because that game is, from what I want from a game, it's very close to perfection. The soundtrack gives me some goosebumps here just because it's probably not even a good soundtrack. I just remember it really well. As we just blow up trucks. But yeah, I'd love to do Resident Evil 4 games. I'd love to do Metal Gear Solid 3 even more, but we don't have that on the PS4 at all. And I don't think we're likely to get it anytime soon, sadly. We're just going to get pachinko machines out of it because that's the state of Konami at the moment. Nice shooting, partner. But what just came to my head is how this game is also different from the first one in its vehicle sections. In the first game, you were always the driver, generally. You know, you were flying the vehicles. In this game, you're always relegated to the gunner. It's not such a bad thing as we're going to get a Metal Gear just show up. It's actually, I think it's called battle armor. And what I love about this is that you fight this enemy a few times, and it's really building up to the moment when you yourself are going to control one, which is quite a cool moment, if a bit too short. Although I think you get to use it again in the last level, which is also pretty cool. It's not as cool as meching a Metal Gear in Metal Gear Solid 4, but you know, it's up there. It's up there. But we're coming towards the end of this level, guys. Again, we've not had much chance to talk about much. It's a very simple level. You're not going to die in this one, although I doubt you'll be struggling. As you see these new enemies appear, I think the nano civilians, which actually that doesn't make any sense within the story, does it? I don't know actually. I'm not too sure. The story in this game is not too strong in my memory, as we're sadly the Battlefield pilot, his maverick moves have cost him, and you have to bail before it's too late, and your Jason Statham's crashed you, causing the worst level in the game to commence, which hopefully you'll join me for next time. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the sewers.